attitude, love of simple gardens, and decades of experience, Charlie Dimmock is one of Britain's best-loved gardeners.
Fire pit there, water feature bubbling away there.
But the Rich brothers are the new trendsetters, winners of multiple medals at the Chelsea Flower Show.
Valiant job.
The boys have become known for their dramatic outdoor spaces. Now these two different generations of gardening are going head-to-head.
They may have a few gold medals, but I've got one or two tricks up my sleeve.
They're meeting frustrated garden owners across the country.
Like a driveway. I wasn't going to say.
And will each pitch them a design based on their needs
Wow.
and budget.
So they choose us?
The winner brings their design to life, and the loser
Come on, friend.
has to help them build it.
Oh, that's just me, isn't it?
This is what happens
Who designed this garden? Stupid person.
when different styles collide
Oh, dear, you geeks.
to turn garden dreams into reality.
It's like walking down some stately home. It's beautiful.
It's time for Charlie and the Rich brothers to find out whose garden they're competing to design this time.
Elizabeth has written in from Brighton, and this is her garden.
Wow. Big statement.
There's not a plant in sight.
Hey, the algae has got to count as a plant.
Yeah, nice green paving.
It's void of life, really. But to quote Elizabeth, she says she doesn't want it boring and traditional. She wants it different, but not out of place. So,
I can see why she wants it different, I have to say.
This house used to be my great aunt's. She bought it when it was first built and lived here for 30, 40 years. It's been in the family since. But originally, I used to live 3 doors along. So when we were kids, we grew up here. The garden currently is awful. So I love gardening, and in my previous house I had a big garden, a huge vegetable area as well. So this is really disappointing not having anywhere outdoors to be, to relax after work.
well, she's really looking for something to kind of take away from her busy, stressful life. She wants it to be almost like a kind of cottage garden, but a lot more kind of structure.
I mean, it looks like there's quite a lot of plants around the edge,
Yes, yeah.
but not in it.
Does she want anything else other than cottage? Like anything for wildlife? Or...
So she has a bird feeder in there, but I don't think she gets very many birds into the garden, and that is one of her priorities, was to kind of get something in the garden. I think she loves the idea of mature shrubs, trees, just anything that's going to kind of help to bring them in.
Certainly I'd like something that invites me out into the garden to relax. Originally there was a huge villa here that was built by Charles Barry, who designed the House of Parliament, but all that's left is a beautiful structure, a gazebo that I see from my garden, which was sort of folly in the grounds. So it would be lovely to be able to link the garden to the gazebo, because at the moment I don't want to go out there in that space. It's just concrete, and so I don't get to make the best of that wonderful view.
I mean, the garden's not very big. What's the budget like?
Big. So we've got £6,000 for this budget.
6,000?
Yeah.
Well,
So you can do the specimen, you know, the slightly larger trees and shrubs to give maturity to it.
Wonderful. Seems like a lovely little space.
Yeah. The garden's really important to me because I'm connected to this area, not just the house, and you know, some of my earliest childhood memories are here, but the street and the area too. So I really don't envisage leaving the area, and so you know, this garden's going to be with me for a long time.
Excited to see the space for themselves, the designers are off to Brighton.
There's another one.
what's that about?
Oh, this will be the first hurdle we need to get over when designing, guys.
No, you boys will keep that. You love Californian blocks.
Yeah.
Feature, main feature of the garden.
I mean, it is the only feature, isn't it? It's like a concrete jungle in here.
Yeah, good views.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. It's quite hard, very harsh, but lots
Not
of
inviting.
Not inviting in the slightest, is it?
But there's lots of really cool ornaments about.
I know, very
I
quirky bits.
I like all the little rusty bits, and got those lovely Victorian tile edging.
Trying with the birds. Once
The
them come
birds
in.
might be finding it trying.
Totally agree.
Keeping away
I
from
would
the
not want to come in here, and also it is on a bit of a slope as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the birds are laughing at the garden.
Yeah, I think I'll just be dodging seagulls out here.
The boys pop inside to see what they can learn about Elizabeth's sense of style.
Gorgeous.
feels very modern, very clean, nice and light, doesn't it? But some of these elements, definitely very cottagey.
Yeah, and I love the floors as well. And I think having them a little bit thinner gives that illusion of it being more modern as well.
Yeah, super characterful as well, though.
Outside, Charlie is meeting Elizabeth, or Alex to her friends, to find out what she'd really like to see in her garden.
Tell me about this garden. I mean, beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. What a view to have from the garden.
I mean, this was an old Edwardian villa, and that was just a folly in the garden, and that's kind of all that remains. But yes, I'm very lucky to have that as a view.
What do you want from the garden?
I mean, it isn't a garden at all, so if we can get rid of all of these paving slabs, that would be great. I mean, there may still be some paving in the garden, but I'd also like lots of vegetables, a herb garden, that sort of thing.
So you don't mind a bit of maintenance to do?
No, what I quite like is some sort of covered seating area, kind of to extend the house. So in the evenings when I get back from work, I can sit and relax in the garden, even if it's a bit colder. And I want to do things to attract birds and wildlife, because there's nothing here for them at the moment.
Now, I did just check your bird table out, and I have to say, there's some bread on there, and no, it's bits of concrete.
Yes, my dog digs the concrete out of the paving, and then I put it there out the way.
Check this out.
This is lovely. It's nice having that kind of open structure in the room.
It is. I love the feature of the stairs. It kind of feels like it's been renovated, so almost like it's an old lap and plaster wall, but they've left the bare bones, the bare structure off it.
Well, it's going to be, I reckon, a garden that's going to have these lovely straight lines. It feels a bit open. It also has that lovely kind of rustic cottage charm.
Woody around the edges, like we like.
So do you like the sort of history of the garden? You want to bring that into the
Yeah,
garden?
that would be good. I like that mix of modern and traditional. So, kind of nice, clean lines, modern structures, but then maybe with soft planting and with things like the Victorian tiles and other old bits and bobs around.
So contemporary with a vintage twist.
That's exactly right, exactly right.
Seating area, wildlife, less of a car park feel, more of a cottagey feel.
Yes.
Sorry, that's a bit rude, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely true.
Keen to get started on transforming this drab and featureless space, the designers set straight to work. Each of them will work on creating a plan for Alex's garden that meets her criteria and the £6,000 budget. Alex will then decide on the winning design, and the loser will have to help make the garden a reality. The budget will pay for all the necessary materials, and Charlie and the Rich Brothers, along with a landscaping team, will provide the labour. It's time for the designers to pitch their ideas.
Hello. So this is our design.
Wow.
So we know that you wanted to have a cottage-style garden and somewhere that was going to be really peaceful and really calm just to sit out in and enjoy.
Hello, Alex. Now you were after a wildlife haven for you and your lovely dog Bella to relax in.
Yes.
And hopefully that's what I've given you.
Wow.
Charlie and the Rich Brothers know Alex wants a mix of traditional and modern in her garden. So what are their plans to provide it?
I have got a seating area which is very sleek and dynamic, modern finish using a hardwood decking. So won't get a very modern, simple awning with legs that we can grow climbers up, but it's like polycarbonate, so you won't really see that it's there, but it will keep the rain off.
We've got a brand new patio out the front of the house. Slabbing that we'd like to use is a nice reclaimed natural stone, something with lovely character, something that's going to look really lovely and also going to feel nice underfoot as well. And that's a great space for kind of a primary dining area and much safer and more level than what we've got here.
Both designers give Alex a much more functional front patio, but they have taken very contrasting approaches. Are their plans for the heart of the garden equally different?
And that filters through then into this central seating area. So this is going to be a gravel, and that's surrounded by some topiary and some small shrubs and planting.
You step down onto some granite steps that lead you onto a lawn. Now you're probably saying, a lawn in a small garden? But there's something lovely about a lawn that reconnects you with a garden.
Alex is keen to bring in plants, colour and wildlife to her garden. So have the designers managed to achieve that?
The main wildlife area is down here, so you're going to have view of these lovely mature trees that are going to bring in the wildlife, and that will bring the birds into the garden without blocking the view of your fabulous folly. And you'll be like sitting in a woodland area, and this is a very simple circular pool of shallow water that will gently ripple.
Within these topiary cubes, we wanted to position these two specimen large shrubs, and we love to use cornus. It's a gorgeous native shrub, and it's got lovely flowers and berries. So again, it's really going to attract the birds in and wildlife.
Also in this back area here, we wanted to put in a water feature. So what we've done is we've put a few small shrubs around the back, which I'll quick snapshot to it. And then this water feature, what we wanted to do is basically clad it with the same reclaimed stone slabs. So it's going to blend in with everything. It's going to have a kind of rustic charm, but also keep those kind of clean, straight lines that we know you like as well.
Both designers have laid out their plans, but with Alex keen for an opportunity to grow her own, they've got one last chance to provide her the veg beds she was after.
And we know you love the idea about growing your own, having the opportunity to do that. So by having these two individual raised beds, a perfect spot for it.
I have built in a couple of raised beds in the decking for your vegetable growing, and being covered in this area, you should be able to grow some quite fun vegetables because it'll be much more protected.
It's going to be incredibly difficult to choose.
Now that the designers have had their say, it's time for Alex to make her decision and pick the one she likes best. Will she go for Charlie's central lawn, sleek decking and woodland glade? Or will it be the...
I really love the Rich Brothers design. I love those lines and the kind of square lines with the box hedging and things, but then the soft planting around it.
So Charlie, how did you brighten up this garden?
Hey! I've kept it very simple, actually. I have got a lawn, which I know is a bit out there, but I feel like a lawn sort of entices you into the garden and frames up the plants so well. It sort of reconnects you with the garden.
Very cottagey, I suppose, isn't it?
Yes, and it's lovely to walk on it in bare feet.
It is nice, but we went for no lawn.
Yeah.
We didn't even think of doing lawns, did we? We thought treat it as a bit more of a courtyard.
I've got a woodland area at the bottom with a very secluded seating area and a dish-shaped water feature.
Oh,
When you turn them
cool.
up.
We've got a water feature, and we built more like a stone trough in a way.
Oh, lovely.
I love this mini woodland area with the calm water at the end. I love her design with the seating area and the planting on the walls. But just really torn, not sure, just can't decide.
It's a tough choice, but Alex has got to pick a winner.
Hello. So it's an incredibly difficult decision. I love both designs and you captured everything that I'd asked for. So it has been hard to decide. And I had to make a choice, unfortunately. And I have decided to go with the boy.
Yeah, nice. Good decision. Very good. So what made you go for our design?
I loved the modern feel with the straight lines and the cubed box hedges. It's really difficult because I love Charlie's sort of mini woodland and the paved kind of covered area, but you just pipped Charlie to it.
Oh, yeah. Good. That's wonderful.
So the brothers have got this one in the bag, but they'll need Charlie's help if they're going to succeed in turning this garden around. But there's been news. Since the brothers won the pitch, Alex has got planning permission and extended her garden to include a 1.8-metre strip of grass running the length of the plot.
Yeah, hello.
Morning.
How have you been?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
Very good.
Good.
Super
Good to
excited
see you.
about the garden.
Yes, yeah.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Much bigger
It's
now.
obviously meant that we needed to do a new design to fit with the new garden.
Yeah.
So here it is.
Okay.
So we've tried to keep the garden as similar as possible as we could because, we didn't want to lose the charm and the character of what we did firstly. So it's got the water feature, it's got the topiary cubes, it's got some multi-stem trees. Hopefully it's got the same kind of feeling.
Yes. Yeah, looks good to me.
Thought we'd run it
Brilliant.
by you before we draw it up now to be built. So,
No,
okay?
that's good.
Nice.
Great, thank you.
While the brothers get the work started,
Well then, here we go. Oh, hello. I know, we've got a bit of a sketch this week because the boys are away doing the pretty one as we speak. As it stands, this is what we're working from at the moment. So what we got here is, it's a bit of a concrete jungle, isn't it? And the levels are all over the shop. It's like a slab slide, really, isn't it? Yeah. The boys are going to turn this into a really beautiful contemporary cottage garden. So there's planting spaces all over. We've got a really nice water feature in here. So I think first, how about Kyle and James, you get on to sort of getting the slabs up and making a level.
Okay, cool. Let's do it. Let's do it, team.
As the team gets started clearing the site, Chris wants to look at the drain hatch, which he thinks might be causing the jaunty angle of the garden.
Oh dear, this doesn't look good. It's not cemented in at all. There's bits of slate here and whatever, and suddenly stuff is going to fall into it. Like that. Things will fall in it and clog the drain.
As Chris removes the loose bricks to level the cover, Andy's tackling another blast from the past.
Oh, look at that. Used to be all the rage in the 70s, these, when I grew up. I'm putting that to one side in case Charlie can do anything with it. Hey? What? Did it come that easy?
He's been banging away at that for half an hour.
With the drain cover lowered and firmly cemented into place, James and Chris remove the rest of the old paving slabs. And Andy prepares the foundations for the water feature before the breeze blocks go up to form the inner walls of the pond. Meanwhile, Chris is hard at it laying the new paving for the patio, and Andy can't resist nipping around the Edwardian folly for a better view of the garden.
That's what I was aiming for.
Oh dear.
That's the way I like it.
You do look like a Roman emperor up there.
Which part of it?
This bit.
I know.
There's no more time for messing about, as outside Charlie and the Rich brothers have arrived.
Garden's getting bigger, and that means for us, the budget's got to spread that bit further, and we've got that much more work as well. So focus, more focus, team. Now, Alex's big needs was to actually draw more wildlife into the garden, so that's what you're on.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll start with the bird table. Yeah. I'll get rid of the concrete on it.
No, that's a good start.
Good start.
Obviously, there's some stone walling to be done around the water feature, so, you know, you've nominated yourself somehow with that, haven't you?
So what are you doing then?
Me? Everything else.
Yeah.
Basically, everything else in the garden. I'll agree some slabbing, some veg beds.
See boss today?
Yeah, it looks like
Looks like he's taking on the boss role.
Oh, I don't want it.
So that means you're T-boy.
We didn't discuss this though. It's going to be you again.
I don't want to be boss. I pass it on to you.
Right, make us both a cup of tea.
Alex got her planning permission to extend, and they've moved the pond and the veg beds to take advantage of the extra space.
Wow. Look at there. What a difference.
So much bigger, doesn't it?
Now, this garden is split up into 3 main zones, the 3 Ps. Now, the first one is the patio. This gives a lovely large area outside the house. And the guys have done a fantastic job laying this one, but there's still another one that needs to go next to the water feature.
And this second space is all about being peaceful. And every garden should have an area that feels more intimate, somewhere where you can get away and really relax amongst a very natural and kind of sympathetic space.
Gorgeous. And then the third area, produce. And that's the third P. So Alex at the moment loves gardening, but the garden hasn't allowed her to do any at all. So as well as the planting that surrounds the whole space, we've actually put in a couple of raised veg beds as well.
Nice, well, that's enough about that. We've got some slabbing to get on with.
Yeah.
Some stone walling to do.
Luckily, they're right next to each other as well. Lovely.
Harry starts by bringing in the sandstone for facing the water feature, while David's decided he wants to mark out where the topiary cubes will go.
Put the bushes ones on the outside,
Yeah.
ones on the inside. You might get there.
Yeah, I'll get more of that.
I think you're being a bit optimistic talking about planting, boys.
What now?
Yeah.
At this stage?
All right.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because the garden is now much bigger, David's making sure their new design fits the extra space, while Harry has made a start building the stone wall to make the water feature look more rustic, in line with the cottage garden feel Alex is after.
Although this water feature is going to have the appearance of being a dry stone wall, the practicalities of creating a water feature meant that we had to line it. So Andy's already created a nice framework using concrete blocks, and then I'm going to be facing that with the stone walling. So getting this first line in is very important.
So the boys want a real neat finish to this water feature. Just bear in mind that this won't take the weight of the water yet. So we're going to put the liner in and start filling it. But we can't fill it too high because we'll have to fill it in line with Harry's dry stone walling. So he's got to keep up with the water. Otherwise, the whole thing could just collapse. That would look dramatic, wouldn't it?
It's structural.
It's very structural.
Well, that's why I've gone with cement in between and behind. So it looks like a dry stone wall, but actually it's got the structure and strength.
So I'm going to get the liner in and start filling it.
Too quickly.
So as it starts filling, you have to keep your dry stone wall going up at the same rate as the pond's
I'm
filling.
feeling the stress already. Don't add any more to me.
With David still munching.
Now, the lovely thing about the garden, Alex's garden, was she had lots of really nice little knickknacks in it. And this one being one of them. Now, it looks nice and old and worldy, and it does sort of pick up the beautiful folly up there, but it's actually just concrete out of a mould. Basically, the mask is going to be on the edge of the water feature, and the water is just going to be gently tumbling out, so it'll be a nice soft, gentle sound, which will make this space feel very tranquil. We'll get nice reflections of the sky, get nice sound, and you'll get that ripple of water. But we've got a long way to go yet.
Before the mask can be fixed into place, Charlie's putting a layer of sand in the bottom of the pond to form a base with a tough rubber liner.
I've just been marking out for the second patio area that's actually in the centre of the garden. And the reason I was marking it out so meticulously is actually because I want it to blend with the first one really seamlessly. And also, I had to put out a string line as well because I need to make sure these two patio areas are level with each other. Now, the whole idea about having these two patios separate with gravel in between is to give it that slightly more aged look instantly. So it's the idea that maybe once upon a time it was one large space, but actually now the gravel has creeped in and it's given it that slight vintage twist.
We've got sand on the bottom, and then this is a bonded fibre. It's really tough. The roots can't go through it, and even if there was a stone underneath, it wouldn't be able to push up through, so it really protects the liner. So it's double protection.
For a pond this size, which will take around 1,250 litres of water, everything needs to be watertight, as well as blending in with its surroundings.
So I've just laid out the hardcore within the area that I've dug out. So now it's just good to compress it, and then I'll be ready to put a nice little mix on it and lay my first slab.
As the brothers' main features start to take shape, Chris is giving Charlie a hand with the pond.
This is a box liner, so that means that instead of what I normally use is like one flat sheet, this has actually been welded into a rectangle, and it's got to fit the breeze block exactly. It looks a bit short to me, but I think it's optical illusion.
Let me get this bit.
Yeah. It's like that. Does it reach your end? Get your corner in. See, it does. Oh, you were trying to worry me there, you little horror.
So I'm just laying the slab now. A little tap down's going to be good. Spirit level as well, just check that level there. And we're just using a nice rustic sandstone slab for this garden. As you can see, it's all about this top texture. It's got a lovely ribbon pattern. It's nice and uneven and natural, and that's exactly the kind of character we wanted to capture. It's such a far cry from the concrete slabs that were here before. And everyone's different. It makes it a tiny bit harder to lay because there's slightly different thicknesses, but that's the charm of it. But all together, along with the gravel, it's going to create a lovely, authentic cottage feeling.
Time's pressing on, and Charlie's keen to start filling the pond. But finding the right stones for the wall is not a quick process.
The tide is coming in. How is the dry stone wall rising?
Slowly.
Slowly.
Oh, it's getting there.
And how much stone have you got outside? Enough.
It's getting less and less as well.
Less. But look at this. So, as I mentioned, Alex has got some lovely knickknacks in the garden. The lion's mask, which is going to be on the water feature. And this bird table's nothing wrong with it. But because the garden's been upgraded, I think I'm going to upgrade the bird table. First of all, though, I am going to get rid of the concrete, because birds really do not like eating concrete. And as we're in Brighton, thinking of something of a pavilion for the birdies.
Charlie's found another of Alex's knickknacks that she hopes will make a suitably unusual roof.
This is very posh. comes to a bird table, ideally, you need to have the base covered to keep the food dry, and also have a few holes in the base so that if any rain does blow in, it drains away. Maybe with a veranda and a bit of planting.
But first, she's got some demolition to do.
Gothic arch, that's the bit, that's the key for that bit. Even a seagull could land on that now.
When building stone walls, the hardest part about it is actually the corners. And that's called a coin. And the idea is to get a lovely 90-degree angle so that it really shows off the shape of this rectangular water feature. So once that's done now, I'm going to work off that, and then I'm going to put the coping stone on top. And the coping stone we're using is actually the same material as a slab. So again, you're having that nice bit of unity. It's connecting the water feature, which is the main kind of feature in the garden, with the slabs and the paving. So it's all going to have a lovely rapport.
It's pyramid roof.
Unfortunately, the roof is totally rotten. But I am saving these lovely little bits of copper that have weathered. So I think I could use those maybe on the roof. Maybe. So far all I've done is deconstruct everything.
Good. Oh yes, you always got to take a look from far.
Yeah.
See how it's working. So now I've just got to do the long bit.
The long sides, yeah. That's right, Leo. Where's the sun? Midday. You're all right. You'll get there. I'll help you right at the end if it's necessary.
But now that the second patio area is almost complete, David is looking ahead to the planting.
As well as the water feature, we wanted to make sure that there was some permanent structure within this garden throughout the winter. But we didn't want to use another hard material, so we're using yew. We're going to toperize it into these low yew cubes. Now that gives a lovely soft but still permanent feature within the garden. And because they're evergreen, that lovely rich dark tone continues throughout the year.
It's a combination of the planting and the water feature that will help encourage wildlife into the garden. But Charlie hasn't given up on her contribution either.
This is the pavilion I'm building here. So we're going for precision. Right, you hold that. I like to let it spin so that nobody can undo it afterwards.
Oh, that's exquisite. That's not going anywhere. Of course, it doesn't have an eagle land.
No, we got another layer yet.
Now this is the produce area of the garden, and we've positioned it here because it actually catches so much of the sunshine throughout the day and then in the evening. Now to really define it as its own space, we're going to be putting in this bit of timber here to create a nice little step down into it. Nice simple construction, just out of this 6x1 timber and then 2x2s in the corner. So I'm just going to crack on with them and make sure they're done before the end of the day.
You know when you're doing whatever that is, that thing, that chippy stuff, you're not chippy into the pot.
You want some more in the pot?
You're looking a bit hot there, Harry. I can see Alex is literally just going to, on a really hot day, she's just going to sit in here with the lion's mask, splooshing water off her feet. It'll be quite nice.
However Alex decides to use the pond, that lion mask still needs to be put in place. And it's going to need a spout.
It's got to be right in the middle. I mean, it'd be nicer if it was further back, but don't know how far the pump can push.
Yeah.
And it will vary if it's a dull day.
It's going to be tricky.
Well, yeah, so we need to be over the edge here. I've got to get it so it gets out, because otherwise if it goes down there, it will track back and go out of the pond.
Yeah.
Luckily, Charlie's talent for upcycling means she might have the perfect solution.
The other thing I did find is this off-cut of copper.
Lovely. Feel quite nice colouring-wise.
Well, because that will weather down to that green verdigris.
You can't see that quite a bit. I quite like that, I think.
So that we can push through, hopefully, push through the lion's mouth. Hopefully. But it might not. I'm not promising anything.
Time's getting on, and while Charlie works out how to make the fountain work, the team put on a spur to the stone walling and lay coping stones around the top of the pond. It's time to start bringing in some of the trees that are such a feature of this garden.
This is a crabapple. This is Malus Winter Gold. And this garden is going to play a really pivotal role because it has a lovely ornamental value. And with crab apples, you get a gorgeous blossom. It's going to have a lovely white blossom in the spring. And after the blossom, it then follows with some fruits. And in this case, they're that golden yellow colour. Now, the great thing about crab apples is that it attracts loads of wildlife. And that's exactly what we wanted to do in this garden. They're multi-stem and they don't grow larger than 6 metres. So they're not going to dominate the space too much. But what they do is pack a punch. So 2 more to go. Temporary dance. You need to show off, Andy. 4, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice, guys.
With each tree standing at 3 metres high and weighing around 75 kilos, it's a 4-man job lugging them into place. That's it, it's in and already looking beautiful. And while the team gets started on the rest of the planting, Charlie's pet project is nearing completion.
Almost finished the bird table. It's now looking very, I think they say Brighton Bell. I think David will think I've gone a step too far with the sort of moss and the tiles. But he shouldn't have just left me to it, should he? That'll teach him.
I'll tell you what, this is looking so vintagey. I love it.
Oh, is it? It's saying it's looking more and more over the top. Could I just stop?
Fantastic. I love
It's all right,
these. Yeah.
So that's the second veg bed in. When we finished, all I've got to do now is fill it with soil. And to get Alex going, I want to put some things in there now. But obviously, late summer, it's not a great time for veg. You could have things like lettuces, radishes and your leeks. But I'm just going to put things in there for some instant impact now. And it's really to get Alex encouraged about growing, ready for the following year.
With the beds done, James is planting you to form the topiary cubes round the crabapple trees. And there's a variety of shrubberies going to make sure the water feature doesn't get left behind in the race to get the garden finished.
Right then, boys, Chris and Kyle, how goes it here?
Been quiet without you.
People often say that. It's a really good idea when you're putting a pump in a pond to make sure the pump actually works. Plug it in and test it. It's a good sign, isn't it? It's going to be about that level. I don't think that's too bad for a solar pump.
There we go. Oh, that's a good hole, that is. That's what you call snug.
I'm glad I've not attached my solar panel. Perhaps I'll take it this way a bit then. Are there any more big trees to come in before I attach this panel?
No, Chaz, this is good.
That's it, is it?
Yeah.
That's all right then.
We're closing our eye. Oh, sorry.
Raining.
You're dropping apples everywhere, mainly in my water feature. Look out!
The old dabble bop.
But it's the brothers who designed this garden, and they want the overhanging branches to be reflected in the water.
Oh, this looks good.
Yeah.
It's good.
And there's just the lion mask to fix into place.
The sun is setting, the shadows are growing longer. We're nearly there. I think that's why they put that there. Right, if you just stay there while it goes off.
With the garden coming together, the brothers are keen to add a few finishing touches that give a nod to the garden's history.
Now, Alex was really familiar with this property. It's actually where her great aunt used to live, and that's why it was scattered with so many things that used to be her great aunt's, including these pots. And it's a lovely way to kind of hold on to a memory of a loved one and a family member. So it would be crazy to get rid of them. We're actually going to plant them up with these gorgeous climbers.
David's planting up her auntie's pots with a honeysuckle and a star jasmine, while Charlie's got another idea.
This is a bit fun, this is. These Californian blocks used to be the bee's knees. Everybody had them. All their garden walls were built out of them. The reason we're keeping them is Alex had them outside the patio doors, and there was literally just one row of them. They looked a bit odd, but we thought we'd make a quirky little feature, and I'm going to plant it up so it'll just all mound up and it'll look a bit like a mosaic.
The last job is to plant up the veg beds.
So we've just got a lovely little selection for Alex to start off. We've got a mixture of varied spiced chilies. So we've got ranging from the hot to the not so hot, so that was quite fun for her. We've got some potatoes to put in. We've got some strawberries down there as well, which will just dangle over the end. We've got some basil there as well. And the reason that we've not built the soil up right to the top is actually because vegetables like these and herbs need good organic matter in them. So actually, let the soil settle, and then Alex can add that on top as well. It means that the veg and the herbs are going to be nice and healthy.
With the sun sinking in Brighton, this garden is finished and ready for its grand unveiling. Before she called in the garden rescue team, Alex's outside space was drab, dated and uninviting. More like a car park than a garden. But now it's had a £6,000 makeover, and the Rich brothers have provided Alex with a restful, stylish and architectural space that will attract wildlife as well as looking good all year round. They spent £330 building the water feature, which is the focal point of the garden and worth every penny. The veg beds will give Alex the space to indulge her love of gardening and were a steal at £44. Recycling elements of the house's history, like the California blocks and Charlie's bird table, cost virtually nothing, but will keep priceless memories alive for Alex. And the trees and soft planting put a £2,300 dent in the budget, but have added heart and soul to the garden that was absent before.
Watch your steps.
Now it's time to find out if the Rich brothers have given Alex the garden she was dreaming of.
3, 2, 1. Open your eyes.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, it's incredible! I genuinely can't believe the size of the garden. It's just incredible what you've done.
It feels huge, doesn't it?
It was so awful before, and to think that you've transformed it into this. It's just, thank you so much. It's just oasis. It's beautiful.
So different from the, dare I say, car park that was here before.
What's the thing that stands out the most at the moment?
The water, because I was kind of tuning into that, that's just absolutely stunning. But just, you know, the paths coming through, all the planting, I love the structure.
Nice.
But then the soft planting around that. I can't believe the scale of it. I can't believe it.
Nice. What do you think about your crab apples?
Yes. Yeah, I love the colour of those as well. And they're kind of structured around the garden.
So that's winter
And
gold.
you?
It's got that lovely kind of yellowy fruit.
Yes. Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah, and there's your cubes. So they'll become more dense over the years, but cut them to a nice level and they'll just evolve and just become part of the structure of bones of this garden. I guess the sound of water as well is something that you really wanted.
So coming home after work and sitting out here and just hearing that and relaxing, it's going to be beautiful.
Should we have a little wander? Got a few things to show you. The California blocks. So Charlie's got a little bit fun, a little bit creative.
Oh, brilliant.
She's put some ivans there and some house leeks.
Uh-huh.
So it's a little bit of fun, but now they're not a trip hazard.
No.
And this is just a slight informal seating space, closest to the water feature.
All the warning, it's just beautiful.
That's this guy. Yeah, so I've been busy
done.
today. I feel my hands are worn well.
Huge job just in itself.
It does take a long time because it is bespoke. I mean, that's what's so lovely about it, is that it's unique. You don't get anything like this or exactly the same as this.
Anyway.
So this is your own water feature.
Brilliant, thank you.
And with the lime mask water feature, it just all ties the whole area in together.
One feature within the garden that Charlie spotted straight away was the bird table. And she eyed that up. She knew she was doing something with it.
She has created something beautiful.
It's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
really different.
Really cool.
I quite like it. But what I will say is if you put food on it and not concrete, the birds will come in.
It's now like a work living garden.
Yeah.
So it's a space now that's almost fits with its surroundings, with the borrowed landscape there.
Thank you so much,
Not
both
at all.
me and Charlie.
Yes,
And Charlie.
everyone. Yeah, but I suppose we always ask this at the end: was it worth the money?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can't put into words how incredible it is, what you've done and achieved. It's absolutely transformed the garden, and it was worth every penny.
Nice.
Every penny and more.
Lovely, fantastic.
And now she's got a moment to herself to reflect. How does Alice feel about her new garden?
I was just overwhelmed when I saw it because it was so beautiful. And I couldn't have contemplated it being transformed the way that it is. I couldn't actually believe that it was my garden. And the water feature just absolutely blew me away. It's incredible. It just means so much to me to have this space now.